Volbeat are back with another single called Last Day Under the Sun. So this is the third single off the upcoming album Rewind, Replay, Rebound. And I have previously reviewed the two other singles, both in the same video. It lasts about 25 minutes. If you aren't seeing that, then you can just check on my channel feed and you'll stumble across the video. But basically, my idea of this band is I kind of liked the band originally. I thought they had a unique thing going on, a concept I've never really heard before. It was really interesting, it was engaging, there was a good voice and everything. But there's been like 6 or so albums of this same sound and they're just bleeding it dry to the point where it's unique, and now it's the thing that most annoys you about the band. The thing that brought you in is now actually killing them because they only stick to this formula and they won't stray from it. And the formula is basically just sounding kind of westerny. So you kind of got your Metallica western style, and then you've got your kind of punk indie style of western vibe. And that's kind of it. They never venture out of it. They came across a new guitarist, which God, I could get this wrong again. I believe it was the band Anthrax or something. I don't know. I was told. I forgot because I was told who it was from, but it's no big deal. It's a big band where the guitarist is from. That's all you really need to know. So he's a great guitarist, and then he came in and he started doing solos. It did give a lot more life and excitement into the songs with, better guitar riffs. You had solos, which obviously added more to the songs. And yeah, but it wasn't really enough. He doesn't do solos in every single song. They still stick to a very bland formula, just using power chord things, and then the same western vibe. It didn't really do anything different apart from just bringing maybe a better sounding riff, which ain't anything to really boast massive about, and then a solo if you're lucky. So that's not really enough to really go, wow, this band is now on the level of Iron Maiden and Metallica. Nowhere close. So the two singles that they released, hated them. There was a song that was called Leviathan, which was 30 seconds. Barely call it a song. It didn't lead into anything. It wasn't a shortened version of a song. It was its own standalone song of 30 seconds. Now, this is extremely thick, it's really stupid, it's an absolute insult to fans to basically just say, we've took the time off, we've come up with this great song, here is 30 seconds. We've seriously put a lot of work into this. The amount of days we had to bleed out in order to come up with 30 seconds of stuff. And dear God, we were just clawing at each other, just trying to figure out how to do this. It's the biggest, grandest song we've ever released. That is all clearly bollocks. They are clearly just trying to milk people dry for cash and just don't care. The other song was actually a typical length of a song, about 4 minutes. It was just western kind of indie sounding, indie rock. It was very bland, very boring, excruciatingly basic. The solo was lacking, which was surprising because the guitarist is pretty good. The other solos in the other albums have been really, really good. So now we've got Last Day Under the Sun. So I listened to this with my girlfriend, who actually gives this band more of the time of day than I do. She kind of wanted to see them live. She thought their sound was great and everything. She really liked the kind of cowboy theme. She listened to this and absolutely despised it. She despised the other 2 tracks. She thinks they're absolutely terrible. So her opinion at the end of this was basically it's High School Musical. Technically, I can't really argue with that. It does have a High School Musical vibe to it. But, what do I think? I wouldn't listen to it myself. I wouldn't go out my way to listen to it. Volbeat started metal. They were a very metal band for the first 2 albums, and this is where obviously the core fan base came from, because they're the original fans. And then Volbeat have started going more along this, pop indie route. And fans, you have seen in the comments of their videos and things, kind of walk away from the band, saying it's no longer really the band that they once were, with the really heavy stuff. They have them here and there, but overall, it's mostly this really basic indie stuff. So, yeah, so people have been kind of walking away because of it. And the band's just gone more pop, leaving their fan base and getting new ones. So, Last Day Under the Sun, I'm basically saying, is not going to bring the old fans back. It's not heavy, it's going even more in that pop route. So, for fans who are old and want to come back to the original Volbeat, not going to happen. For the people who have also been stating everywhere in their videos, it's exactly the same. Ain't really going to change your mind. It's still not drastically different. So now with that out the way, just basically what do I think? Well, as I say, I wouldn't go out my way to listen to it, but I do have somewhat of a respect for it. You know, if you push me, like if someone was a fan and they said, I really like this song, and what did I think? If I was going to be nice, I would say, yeah, they've kind of done something different. Because they actually have. There is no Western feel to this song. It feels more just like a really fun pop indie song that you could play, you know, at a beach with your friends. It's one of these like high school, college kids who go out on the beach and everything, or go to parties and it plays and it's just really bright and poppy and cheerful, and it's extremely basic. But saying that it's poppy and it's extremely basic doesn't necessarily, you know, kill it. There is an audience out there who do appreciate pop punk. So obviously I have to obviously just be, you know, open for people like that. So even though it's not my style, it, as far as pop punk goes, is fairly decent. Like you got 4 minutes 47 seconds, so it's pretty long for pop punk songs that are usually around 2 to 3 minutes. You have a solo, which obviously is, you know, unique for Volbeat compared to other pop punk bands. They don't have solos. Um, and then the overall sound is nice when I listen to it. It's like, this is pleasant. It's not annoying me because it hasn't got that irritating Western thing, which now is absolutely killing it for me and irritates me. That wasn't here. The singer isn't singing in his Western style. The band's not doing Western style. It's just this really fun, bright beach song, indie pop. The riff, the main riff in the verse, is this really bright and clean riff. It sounds like he's actually kind of strumming it on the fretboard instead of over the pickups, which obviously will give it that really kind of bright sound. So it's got this real cheerfulness to it, and then the singer, obviously, he does have a good voice. It's big, powerful, but because it's not in his Western voice, it's so much more open and airy than he pretty much has ever done before. He kind of has touched on this in certain areas, but it is more out of his comfort zone. The chorus goes into, you know, the typical sellout anthemic thing, where it's like if you're in an arena, you want the fans to really chant and sing along with you. So that's kind of what the chorus does. He just keeps going, last day under, last day under, last day, last day under, last day, last day under the sun. You know, like he's stuttering and he has amnesia because he can't remember the sun part. You know, a lot of pop singers do it, where they just say the same old words until something new pops into their head to actually finish off the lyrics. So, yeah, as far as lyrically the chorus is, it is extremely bland because there is no lyrics to the chorus, and the lyrics that are there, he can't even finish the full sentence. It's just basically last day under the sun, but all he can accomplish is last day under, last day under, last day under. What does last day under mean? So what's the point of repeating that? It makes no sense. So it's irritating, but you know, pop is supposed to not be lyrically, you know, advanced. You need very, very simple words. It has to be really, really short, excruciatingly basic, so it's memorable. And no real brain capacity has to be done. So just saying last day under, last day under, it's not going to be very difficult for anyone to remember that. And then the sun, bit more brain cells because obviously there's 2 more words added, but I think the people will actually get it eventually. So yeah, it's crap, but it's big, it's anthemic, and then his booming voice and everything, and then last day under it's very catchy. That it's the way it is. Like it's crap and everything. I don't like it, but it is catchy. It's good fun. I listen to it and it's pleasing and enough. As for the solo, as I say, the guitarist is really good. He has great tone to him. He has good pitches, great sustains. But again, with this solo, it's like the first few phrases are repeated like 3 times, and then it's basically just sustains until he kind of gets into the actual solo, which then is a bit technical, a bit flashy, but I don't know, I just don't really care. And I like guitar solo, so when he does a guitar solo, he's like, oh, here's the guitar solo for you. And I'm just like, I really don't care less. Must be doing something wrong for me to actually disconnect with a thing I always wait for in a song. It's the part of the song I look forward to. Yeah, I wasn't really bothered or cared. Maybe it was just the entire song, I'm just not that into it, or the solo was just not overly that great. Tone-wise, as I say, it is good. There is some technicality to it. The first part is a few repeated phrases, which is unfortunate. As for after the solo, it goes back to this last day under thing, but the whole band's not really under him. It's just like the few kind of drum cymbals and everything, and then you got one guitar in a very kind of clean channel type of thing, so it's really soft. Then when they all come back in, there's actually a female singer who kind of does a duet with the main vocalist, so that obviously adds a bit of variation to it, because we haven't really had a female singer in a Volbeat song since, I think, the second album. I know the first 2 albums had female singing. Oh, there was one on Outlaw and Shady Ladies. But, you know, it just gives it something new, because the band isn't really giving you anything unique, so we'll just take that as, oh, this is something new. I haven't heard a woman in this atmosphere, really, so interesting. Thought-provoking-ish. I have to turn on one brain cell to be like, oh, look, new vocalist. So, basically the gist I'm getting at here is, it's not westerny anymore, which is a plus, because they have milked that dry and they seriously need to escape that western kind of old school vibe that they have been carrying since day one and have only been sticking to that for all their songwriting and ideas and concept. That is it. So I appreciate that it's not that. So even though it's so boring and everything, I just think I'm so appreciative that it's not this anymore, because it's so irritating to me now that it's amazing that it's just new. So I could be basically just over thrilled at that aspect and not thinking clearly, just because I'm so pleased that they've gotten rid of it. But even still, as I say, people who are into indie and everything and pop, it's catchy, it's upbeat, it's really nice, it's bright, it's not moody, it's not dull, it's not overly technical, you don't need your brain turned on for it. It's just so easy listening, it's easy to listen to, it's fun, it's very nice. His voice is really, really great, and there's a solo which, and yeah, the chorus is easily recognizable, and you know, it's the big band anthemic, very short lyrical content, so you can easily remember it and sing along with it. Just last day, blah 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 blah. So yeah, if you're into pop and indie and you like the pop indie style that Volbeat's kind of going down to, then you're going to be pleased with this, because it's basically just going even more in that route. But as for the original Vans of Volbeat who like the heavy stuff, it's not happening. Again, people who hate the Western thing and want something different, well, technically you do have something different. Like, as I say, it's like this real kind of pop beach party thing that you kind of cruise down the beach with, you know, like teens and, you know, girls and things, and go to parties. Like, it's a And then, as my girlfriend says, it's like High School Musical, and that is kind of like the audience that comes to mind when I listen to this song. So, if you kind of like that kind of vibe in the music that kind of goes with that picture, then you're suited. But as for me leaving this a score, it's going to basically be 5. It's average. Personally, for me, it would probably be a 4, but because of people who like this style, I'll give it a 5. The solo was not overly that great. Lyrically, the chorus was unbelievably terrible and just absolute stale pop, brain-numbingly pathetic. They've changed their sound, so 5, it's average. I could listen to this and not be irritated. Like, the other stuff just now annoys me, and I'm just fed up, and I just don't want any time of day to do with the song. I'd rather it not be on. If someone put this on, I could deal with it. I could be fine with it. I won't mind. I'm not going to get any real enjoyment out of it, but I'm not going to suffer because of it. So, it's average. I can listen to it, but I won't go out my way to listen to it. It's just average. So, that'll be it from me. So, I hope you guys enjoy and stick with me for further videos on Volbeat and everything else metal. And I'll see you later.